alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you and thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. And it's truly wonderful to see all of you here today, ready to invest in your future and take a step closer to achieving your goals with the IELTS exam. We all know how important the IELTS is, whether you are aiming to secure a place in the medical school or pursue higher education or explore opportunities beyond borders. Today's workshop is designed to give you an insights and tools you need to succeed, inshallah, in the IELTS exam. My name is Farah Hitta, and I'm honored to be here with my colleagues, Dr. Amanat and Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Ashraf. We are all excited to share our expertise and guide you through the key aspects of the exam. In your case, passing the IELTS is a prerequisite to moving from or afterward the third year. And it's not just about passing the exam, it's also about scoring well to demonstrate your ability in English and ability to understand complex English concepts, communicate effectively with patients, and collaborate with other professionals. So preparing for the IELTS is more than just an exam, it's part of your future and building your future into the success into the medical field, inshallah. There are two types of IELTS exam. We have IELTS Academics and IELTS General Training, and it's important to distinguish between the two types. The IELTS Academics is suitable for individuals applying for higher education or professional registration as yourselves, for example, in a field that requires the English language, such as medicine, or in an English-speaking environment where IELTS is very required in this. Regarding the general training IELTS, it's typically for those seeking migration or work in non-academic environment or non-academic experience. So be careful while looking for the exam to distinguish between the two types. Regarding the scoring system, the IELTS scoring system ranges from 0 to 9, and with each band, of course, representing a specific level of English proficiency. We have, you will receive a score for each section. You will receive individual score for reading, listening, writing, and so on. And then you will receive the overall band score, which will be the average for 4 skills. Of course, a score of 9 indicates an expert user, whereas 4 shows a modest user, and anything below 4 that indicates more limited English proficiency or more limited English abilities. The IELTS test has 4 sections. We have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And the total time of the IELTS exam is around 2 hours and 45 minutes. The listening and reading and writing parts usually are done in one session, without any breaks, of course, and while the speaking may be scheduled on the same day or up to a week before or after the other sessions, okay? I think this is all you need to know about the IELTS in general, and of course, if you have any questions, we will leave them at the end of the session. But let's delve deeper into the test sections, okay? Now we will categorize them into the 4 sections and break them down one by one. I'll be starting off by focusing on the reading section, which is often seen as one of the most challenging parts of the IELTS exam. But don't worry, we will break it down step by step. The reading part requires a blend of comprehension, analysis, and time management, so it is very important or very essential to be familiar with the structure and types of questions asked in the exam. We will also dive into the techniques that can help you identify key information quickly and efficiently, allowing you to maximize your score. But before we go into the strategies, let's first take a closer look at what the reading section consists of. It consists of 3 reading passages, okay, with increasing difficulties. That means the first one is going to be easier, and the difficulty is going to be increasing one after one, okay? The reading passages are taken from books, magazines, and newspaper. All of them written in very academic English language. And of course, you will have 1 hour to answer all the 40 questions. And without any time to transfer your question to the original paper if you are doing the written format, okay? In the reading section, you will face a variety of question types, okay? All designed to assess your ability to understand and interpret written English. It evaluates skills like reading for the main idea, reading for the details, logical arguments, and recognizing the writer's opinion, the writer's purpose, the writer's tone, and all of these. First type of question we have is the multiple choice question. You will select the correct answer from the several options based on the information in the text. Okay, this is very familiar with all of us. Also, you will encounter the question of true, false, and not given. I think we are very familiar with the part of true and false, right? However, now the not given part could be new to you, and new and tricky to some level, okay? Because they will mention a statement or a sentence or information that it's not mentioned in the text, okay? So you cannot determine if it's true or false, but you will determine if it's not given from the first place. So you will need a closer examination to this information. Also, there are the questions of short answer questions, where you will answer questions using a few words from the passage. You're not going to make up sentences from your own or words from your own. You will extract them from the passage already. They are already there. You will extract them from the passage. And it is usually no more than 3 words, okay, in the short answer questions. Now, I wanted to talk to you about these type of questions first, as you know, because we are very familiar with these questions, format from in the reading books, in the reading comprehension question that we do in the class every week. But now let's move to the questions that distinguish the IELTS exam from the other type of test. First, we have the completion question. What do you mean by completion? Is to complete something, complete the sentence. They are divided into 3 types of completion question, okay? The first one, we have the sentence completion. As you can see in the screen, you will fill in the blanks in a sentence using words directly from the reading passage, okay? Another type of completion is summary completion. You will encounter or face a summary of one passage, one paragraph, or more than one paragraph, or sometimes the whole passage, and all you have to do is complete based on what you read. It's a summary, so you'll have to understand and comprehend the full idea and the main idea, so you can complete the summary. Last type of question is diagram label completion, where you will label a diagram or illustration. Okay, so they will write it down as a description in the essay or in the paragraph. They will write it down as a description in written words, and they will also provide you with a diagram like this one on the screen. And all you have to do is go back to the text, follow along, and you will find the answer written there. So you'll have to go back and read for the details. Not the main idea. Now you are looking for details such as features and names. Yeah, another common type of question is matching, with 4 types of matching, okay? The first one is the most common one. There is 100% chance that you will encounter this question in the IELTS exam because it is very common, which is the matching headings. But before we move on, let's first take a moment and understand what we mean by headings. The headings refer to a brief title or summary of the that represent the main idea of this paragraph or theme or particular paragraph or section in the text. Where can we find the headings? We can find the headings usually in the topic sentence, which is usually the first or the second sentence. Sometimes both of them can give you a full idea about the theme or the main idea that reflects the whole paragraph. So you will match the heading to a paragraph section, the passage. Each heading reflects the main idea of a particular section. As you can see here on the screen, we have the new prospect of words trade. This is the heading. They did not mention the exact same words in the essay or in the passage. However, they paraphrased and took the most standing out idea, and all you have to do is match it with the heading, with the paragraphs. As you can see, we have section A, B, and C, and D, and so on. Also, we have matching information, where you will locate information in the passage. It's usually details, examples, reasons, and so on, okay? And match it with the relevant part of the text. Next, we have matching features, like, for example, names and dates and events to a specific people or things mentioned in the text. For example, we have Sarah, Ahmed, and Khalid. You will match them to the, for example, Ahmed won a reward. Ahmed moved where? To Australia. So you will match two features or two details to each other. Regarding the last type of matching question is the matching sentence ending. You will complete sentence by matching them with the correct ending based on the passage. And I repeat myself, you will not find the exact same words. However, you will find them paraphrased, but keep in mind and understand the main idea so you can match it. Clear so far? Here's an illustration. This is just an illustration of the raw score conversion. For example, if you got 23 to 26 correct answers out of 40, you will receive a score of 6 in the reading part. Okay? This is just an example. Now, I don't know if you took a look at the type of essays in the exam, but they are a bit longer than the ones we do in the reading classes, and some of them are very complicated, written in a very academic language, and they consist of no less than 5 paragraphs. So 5 paragraphs and more, written in very academic language with increasing difficulties. So the question is, do you think, do I need to read the whole text? What do you think? No? So do you think, do I have enough time to read it? As I said, we have only 1 hour to answer 40 questions. Or at least do I need to read every single word so I can solve or answer the whole questions? No?
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the answer to all of the questions is no. Of course, it will help to increase your score if you have enough time to read every single word in the text. But however, this is not the point of this section. The point of the section that you will be assessed based on this option that you don't have enough time. How come? Because you will be evaluated on certain skills that provide you with the correct answers without reading every word. Okay? The skills that you will be evaluated for. First, the skill of skimming. What do we mean by skimming? Is quickly reading through the passage to get the overall gist. So I am reading the passage very quickly. I'm not reading every single word, but I am reading quickly to understand the main idea or to understand the gist of this essay. Of course, learning how to skim helps you understand the structure of the text and locate important sections from only skimming without reading every single word. The second skill is scanning. How skimming different from scanning? Scanning, you will have specific information in mind. For example, you read the question first, and you know what to look for. You have specific information in mind, so you go directly to the essay to scan it. So in scanning, you will look for specific details such as dates or names or key facts without reading without reading the entire text. Also, we have inference and deduction. What do we mean by that? It means reading between the lines to understand the idea the writer wants to deliver or the writer wants to convey without reading every single word. especially in the true or false and not given question. Reading between the lines and infer meaning that is not explicitly stated. For example, in the questions like true or false and not given, where you need to determine the author intention or implied meaning. As I told you today in class, most of you, that sometimes we can understand the writer's opinion without the writer stating his point. Like when he say, instead of saying, I agree that this point is wrong, instead he said, I don't think it is useful. He did not mention that. He did not mention it really clearly, but however, we did understand that this is the message that he wanted to convey. And of course, you will be assessed on understanding the main ideas and supporting details, which we practice every week in class. For example, here we have, as you can see on the screen, what do we mean? What's the topic of this short paragraph? What's the main idea of it? What's the topic sentence? What is the details that supported the main idea, and so on. And the last important point, that you will be assessed on your recognition of synonyms and paraphrases. As I told you in the IELTS exam, they don't use the exact same words in the question or in the passage. They rather to paraphrase it or use other synonyms. For example, let's see this example from this passage here. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So they say many doctors, it's only one line, many doctors recommend a balanced diet rich in fruits and vegetables to reduce the risk of heart disease. Okay? Let's imagine this is a question, or this is a line in a passage. Now the question could be, which of the following is recommended to lower the risk of heart disease? Okay? This is the question. You have 4 options. The first one is eating healthy diet with plenty of produce, or reducing the intake of fatty foods, or take regular exercise, or getting enough sleep. What do you think? Which one of them? Yeah, in the passage, the phrase a balanced diet, rich in fruit and vegetables, is paraphrased. What do we mean by paraphrase? Paraphrase to a healthy diet with a plenty of produce. So the answer is correct, is A. So recognizing that fruits and vegetables is synonym with produce, okay? And balanced diet is synonym with healthy diet, okay? So recognizing these 2 synonyms can help you choose the correct answer in the IELTS exam. Let's move to the effective reading techniques. Of course, all that I am going to mention might differ from one person to another, from one experience to another, but in my experience, I found these techniques to be very, very helpful. The first one is to read the question first, okay? Before any skimming or before any scanning, I mean, take a quick glance at the questions, and you don't read each one of them. Take a quick glance so you can have an idea in mind what to look for when you scan or when you skim. The second important thing, I believe this is the most important one, is to read each set of instruction attentively. Now, I have talked about more than 3 or 4 types of question, right? We have different kind of matching. So perhaps you will see the word match and get confused. Perhaps you will match the ending, and whereas you are supposed to match the heading, okay? So read each set of instruction carefully, so you don't get confused while looking for the answer, otherwise it will waste your time. Also, one advice from me is to move on. What do I mean by that? It means if you have only limited time or a limited amount of time to answer all 40 questions. Do not spend more than 3 minutes on a question when you cannot find the answer to it, or you cannot find the answer in the text. Don't spend more than 3 minutes on each question. If you don't get the answer from the text, immediately move on to that next. And perhaps if you have enough time, you will get back to it and read attentively again. Okay? There is another suggested technique that I have read about it in the Hijazi book, and you might read about it, and perhaps you can practice, which is the technique HAD. It is abbreviated as حدد العنوان، اقرأ السؤال and دور الإجابة. For example, the first one, حدد العنوان, it means identify the heading. Okay? As I told you, the heading is the theme or the idea that summarizes the whole paragraph. This technique actually suggests that before you read any question, before you go into the questions, take a quick look at the essay, read each two sentences at the beginning of each paragraph. Now you will identify the heading. You will have a similar idea in your mind. For example, one paragraph for the reasons, one paragraph for the symptoms, one paragraph for the treatment, and so on. You will identify the heading. After identifying the heading, you will read the question and break it down into parts. For example, here you will break it down into proportion, poor household, and get all their income. Now you have separated into more than one phrase. Okay, regarding search for the answer, for example, here they found the answer at the end of the paragraph where they mentioned poor household, completely dependent, and so on the household income. So in this example, they use the same exact word, but as I said, they don't usually. Yeah. Lastly, I want to mention some general tips that might help you, which is that it's really important to practice. We have provided you and gave you an overview of the whole reading questions. Perhaps you can practice them. As you know, the saying, practice makes perfect, so you'll have to practice every single type of question. And also practice skimming, practice scanning, whether in reading classes or by yourself at home. It's really important too. The two are very important skills. Also, pay attention to keywords in both questions and the passage. Matching these keywords can help you locate the relevant sections in the text. Be attentive and pay attention to the keywords used in the question. And the most important thing that you know in the IELTS, you are playing with time, you are managing your time. So learn how to manage your time when practicing. Put yourself under pressure of finishing on time. Don't spoil yourself, don't correct yourself, and be hard on yourself a little bit when practicing. Actually, I would recommend spending 20 minutes for each passage, and of course, keeping an eye on the clock to ensure that you have answered all the questions. And of course, having a range of vocabulary can help you understand the passage better, so work on improving your vocabulary regularly, of course. And the last thing I want to mention, that on the test day, stay calm and stay relaxed, manage your stress, being focused and staying calm will help you read more effectively and answer the question more accurately. I think due to time constraints, I have printed some exercises that you can do. I will distribute it among you, and perhaps each one of you will take one copy to do it on your home or with a partner or whatever. Also, regarding the preparations, the resources, I will send the slides to the class leader to distribute them among you, so you can access the preparation resources links, because I provided some important links that can help you practice your reading sections. It is actually to practice all of the sections, not limited to reading only. You will find listening and speaking, reading and writing. Okay? In conclusion, I hope this overview of the reading section of the IELTS exam has provided you with valuable insights and strategies to enhance your preparation. And do you have any?
Talk about in general what is expected in the writing section. So in general, there will be two tasks for the writing. Okay, we'll talk about each task one by one. if you see here, in general, the total time for the writing is 60 minutes, in which you have task 1 and task 2. Okay, so in task 1, you will see the overview of the task 1. In task 1, what is required and what we will do in the task 1. If you see number 1, in task 1, they might give you a graph, a pie chart, or a table to read the data, to assess the data, and then to write it in the form of paragraph. What types of data they may give you? They may give you a line graph, bar chart, pie chart, and a table chart. And when you read or when you see the table, you have to look closely for all that data given in that on the x-axis and the y-axis. Then you have to look for the units if they have used any unit like gram, meter, kilometer, like these units. And then you have to see the overall trend of the graph. Is the graph is going up? Is the graph is going down? Is it remain stable? For example, as I have told you in writing task number 1, there will be one picture, there will be one graph which you will interpret. You will read the data and then you will interpret that data in the form of a paragraph. Now, how we will write the paragraph? For example, first of all, I will give you some examples of the task 1. For example, they might give you a table like this. What you have to do, you have to read the table, and then after that, you will write a paragraph. For example, this table is, the title is the proportion of income adults and children spent on 4 common items in the UK in 1998. If you see, there are 4 categories: food items, electronics, music, and videos. Then, if you see here, adults, men, women, children, boys, and girls, you have to look for all the percentage, all the numbers, and then you have to write a paragraph which category is spending much on which thing. For example, if you see here, adults spend much of their money on food, women spend much of their money on food, and then if you see the boys, they spend much of their money on music. So what you will do, you will write a paragraph about this table. You will interpret this table. When you will interpret this table, keep in mind that you do not miss any detail. Okay, you have to talk about the adults, men, women, children, boys, girls, and all the 4 other items. For example, I have interpreted this table here. See here, this image shows a table, like you can write it like this. This image shows a table depicting the proportion of income adults and children spent on 4 common items in the UK in 1998. If you see, this is the first sentence. Can anybody tell me in the paragraph what you call it? Which sentence is this? The first sentence. The main idea, the topic sentence, right? So your topic sentence, after the topic sentence, what you will do, you will take the examples from here, you will add more details, like how adults spend money, how men and women spend money. Okay, then the next question are in task number 1. First thing is the table. The next thing they might ask you is the graph. For example, this is the graph. You have to read you have to understand the graph, and then you will write a paragraph about this graph. For example, number of US households in millions by annual income. You have to do the x-axis and y-axis, and then you will interpret it in the form of paragraph. See. Then there is the line graph. There will be another type of question. It could be another type of question like line graph, consumption of fast food in gram. So you will read both axes, and then you will interpret or you will write a paragraph about this graph. Okay, so when you will write, for example, when you will write, as I told you, you have to look for the units. If there are any units, if there are any numbers, specific numbers. For example, here they use the unit gram. So whenever you will write, you will also mention the unit. Then is the pie chart. They might give you a pie chart. You have to interpret the pie chart. You have to understand it. Then you have to write it in the form of paragraph. I have written a paragraph for the pie chart. If you see here, the first one is which I have highlighted. This is the topic sentence, and if you see here at the end, the last sentence. This is which sentence is this? The last sentence. In the paragraph is the components of the paragraph. The topic sentence, the supporting sentences, the supporting details. Then at the end, what comes at the end? The concluding sentence. Understood? So, whenever you will write a paragraph, keep in your mind whatsoever is presented in the picture, in the diagram, you must interpret the whole. You must not miss anything. For example, as I told you in the table, you should talk about men, you should talk about women, you should talk about music and all the things. You should not miss any part. So this is a model paragraph. So your task 1 paragraph should be 150 words. It should not. So if you want to get good grades, it should not be more than 150, neither less than 150. Okay. More is okay, but should not be less than 150. Now, whenever you write a paragraph, this is another important thing, the use of transition words. Okay, you have to make your writing logical. For that, you must use transition word correctly. For example, if you see here, for example, you are reading a chart in which the trend or something is increasing, so you have to use different words. Use variety of the language. For example, for the increase, you can use the words increase, rose, grew, climbed. And if in the trend there is stability, there is no up, no down, it is stable, then you can use some other words, remain stable and remain steady. And for the decrease, there are some other words you can use. Simple here is that you should use variety of language to show the examiner that you are well aware of the language, you know the language. Then, in the graphs, sometimes they also ask you to compare and contrast. When it comes to the compare and contrast, you should also use the transitions for the comparison. You can use likewise in the same way, as well as in the contrast you can use however, on the other hand, and there are more. And you should also highlight if there are any significant differences in the reading, in the data. Okay? So in the data, you can talk about the highest point, lowest point, the trends, the significant change. Can anybody tell me what does it mean, the word trend here in task 1? The trend? Yes? If I can go back, if you see here, if you see here, they talk about 3 food items: the hamburger, fish and chips, and pizza. If you see, if you look for the trend, for example, for the hamburger, is the trend increasing, decreasing, or stable? Increasing. Okay. Then for the fish and chips, it's also increasing, and for the pizza, it's remain almost stable. Decreases then stable. So you also have to look for this. In the pie chart, you have to interpret the pie chart. And you have written your topic sentence, you have written your details, then at the end comes the concluding sentence or the summarizing your main points. So there are some words which you can use for that. For example, in conclusion, the data shows that overall it is clear from the data to summarize the main finding of this visual art. These are some words which you can use. By the way, these, if you see minutely, the task one, our Q skills are equipped with a lot of these exercises. So, see, this is a sample paragraph. For example, the first one is the topic sentence. The last one is the concluding sentence. And if you see here, first following this, in addition, furthermore, again, similarly, these are what? These are transition words. These are transition words, okay? So actually, these transition, can anybody tell me the purpose of transition words? Why do we use transition words? Yes?
Show your influence.
You?
Show your influence.
Yes. To show your fluency. Yes, what else? Can anybody else? From girls? Yes. Transition actually, for example, you talk about, I'll talk firstly, Mandarin was a leading choice with 25 of the students enrolled. Now see, following this, Japanese was the second most popular language. See, he shifted from one point to another point. Transition is the change. When you use transition words, you are changing from one idea, from one point to another point. Okay? That's all for the task number 1. I will take your questions at the end of the session. So, now task number 2. In task number 1, what is required? You have to interpret a picture, a visual, and write one paragraph. Right? And in task number 2, they will give you a topic, a prompt. You have to write an essay about that topic. So you have to understand the difference between paragraph and essay. Understand? So your task number 1 should be of 150 words, and your task number 2 will be of 250 words. So the first thing, whenever you read the prompt, first thing you should understand the task requirement. What the examiner is asking you. What is the task? And you can break down that task into pieces. You can break down that into pieces, and then you can determine your position. Like, what is your opinion about that? What is your argument about that? Now, you got a prompt, you got a question. Understand? Now, the first thing which you will do is to make a plan in your mind, to plan a paragraph. Understand? So, first thing comes is the thesis statement. Like in the paragraph, we have topic sentence. Your whole paragraph revolves around the topic sentence. In the essay, we have thesis statement. Your whole essay will revolve around this thesis statement. Your thesis statement is actually the roadmap of your writing. Okay? Your thesis statement will be the roadmap of your whole essay. So, whenever you write a thesis statement, make sure that it is clear and concise. Okay? It directly addresses the prompt. It should be according to the prompt. It should not be about any other thing. Then it should be predictable. For example, if I read your thesis statement, I will understand that what he or she going to write in the essay. Then this is the essay structure. How you will structure your essay. The first thing is the introduction. The introductory paragraph. The first paragraph will be introductory paragraph, in which you will give the general idea what you are going to write in your essay. After that, you will write body paragraphs. Okay, you can write 2 body paragraphs, 3 body paragraphs, as you like. So, for each body paragraph, generally we know that in one paragraph we talk about one thing, right? We talk about one idea. So, in different 2 or 3 body paragraphs, you can talk about different ideas, and your paragraphs should be well structured. They should have a main idea, they should have details, they should have transitions, and then the last thing is the conclusion, a concluding paragraph. So, your task 2 is writing an essay, and the main parts of the essay are introductory paragraph, the body paragraphs, and the concluding paragraph. Okay? Now see, body paragraph, we have talked about it before. So you will write topics and intent, you will write supporting details. With supporting details, provide specific examples, facts, statistics, and in the conclusion, in the paragraph, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is the concluding sentence. What is the concluding sentence? It's actually your main idea sentence, but in a different way. You paraphrase your main idea sentence. Understand? Then there are some other tips to make your writing excellent. First of all is you should use rich vocabulary. What's the meaning of rich vocabulary? Use precise and varied language, different words. Then maintain a formal tone. Maintain a formal tone and use the correct grammar. Then whenever you write, so your sentences should be clear and straightforward. You can use compound sentences, you can use complex sentences, and then whenever you write, there should be subject-verb agreement. So, what does it mean, subject-verb agreement? Yes? Can anybody tell me what subject-verb agreement? For example, there is one example. The data show versus the data shows. For example, if I say that the student walk or student walks. Huh? She walk or she walks? Walks. Okay? So your subject and verb should be agree. Then there is active and passive voice, the use of articles. You should use articles, the, and in properly. And you should avoid common errors like avoid writing fragments, sentence fragments. One important thing which I, as a writing teacher, I see in the students is the punctuation. The use of commas, full stops, colons, semicolons properly. And the linking words and phrases. What are the linking words? However, furthermore, and on the other hand, this will also enhance the flow and coherence of your writing. Vocabulary writing, we have talked about it, and you can use conditional sentences for predictions. and you should practice punctuation, and at the end you should proofwrite. See, this is a sample essay. This is a sample essay. What's the prompt? Some people think that the best way to increase road safety is to increase the minimum legal age for driving cars and motorbikes. To what extent do you agree or disagree? See, the examiner is asking your point of view. First of all, you should decide that on which part you will be. You will be agree or you will disagree. If you are agree, you should know that why you are agree. You should have the reasons for that. If you disagree, you should have reasons for that. See, the first one is the introductory paragraph, road safety, and if you see here, this is the thesis statement, and then body paragraph number 1. I have highlighted the, what is this? What do you call it? This? What is this? Verb, noun, what is this? Oh, I mean this is topic sentence or what? Transition. So I have highlighted, this is a transition word. See? Firstly, it is undeniable that, now see, now here is the argument, your argument. Okay? Then the first body paragraph, then I move to the second body paragraph. See again, I have started it with the transition word, second body paragraph, then the third body paragraph, then the last one, that is the conclusion. Okay? And I have highlighted all the transition words. Specifically, if I talk about this prompt, some people think that the best way to increase road safety is to increase the minimum legal age. If you see here, in the introductory paragraph or the first paragraph, what I did, I set the context and present the thesis statement. Okay? And then if you see here, in body paragraph number 1, I discuss about the argument. Okay? Then I give my opinion that on which side I am. Okay? Then the counter argument. Then I talk about emphasizing the role of law enforcement in improving road safety. Then in conclusion, I summarize the argument and reiterates the need of comprehensive approach. Before going to that, I will just revise it. So your writing, there will be 2 writing tasks, task 1 and task 2. Okay? In task 1, you have to write a paragraph. So how you will write a paragraph? They will give you a picture, they will give you a table, they will give you a graph. You have to interpret, you have to read, understand, and you will write it in the form of paragraph. Understand? And in task, it has like 20 minutes. You have to do it in 20 minutes. Then the part 2 is the task 2 is writing a paragraph. They will give you a poem, they will give you a question. You have to decide what you will talk about, what will be your opinion. You have to write an essay about it, 250 words essay. In the essay, what will be in the essay? You will write introductory paragraph, you will write body paragraphs, and the concluding paragraph. Understand? So, what you should do is to practice your writing, use variety of language, practice the punctuation, and be specific. Be specific means what? For example, especially for the task number 1, don't add your opinion. Don't give your opinion. Understand? Whatsoever is presented in the chart, just write it down. Don't give your opinion. But in task number 2, you can give your opinion. When you give your opinion, you should be aware that you have to give examples, you have to give details to prove or to prove your opinion or to prove your argument. Okay? So for the grammar, you must practice for it. Look, level 1 book, level 2, level 3, level 4. All of you are from the preparatory, right? Our books are, I will say that these are the best for the preparation of IELTS and steps and other exams. All of the activities are designed like this. Even if you will go to, if someone is studying level 3 or 4, the essence, the way they are organized, the way there are questions, they are all actually the practice for the IELTS exam. So there are some, just for I have given you some resources, so there are some other Q skills. As I told you, you can practice right to British Council official website IELTS exam and practice test, like Mr. I have given you already. So that's it. If you have any questions.
Inshallah, we'll talk about listening skill, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Any question raises in your mind, you have to write it down. Maybe at the end of the session, you forget it. You know, I was reading a book yesterday. Maybe you have read it. It's a book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He said, anytime you have a great idea in your mind, because our mind creates a lot of ideas, but the problem happens that we forget it. So if the main reason you have to transfer your idea to the action. So your minds create a lot of ideas every day. You have to transfer those ideas to the practical shape. Okay, as you know, these days because of the technology, it has affected IELTS. In the past, we generally have only the one kind of paper test, but now we have computer delivered test and online IELTS test as well. So you have a choice. You can do any of you can choose any format of the IELTS. So I will shed light about each one one by one. So if you have a paper test, you will prepare yourself, then make a registration. You will go to the exam center and you will be given 4 skill IELTS test. 4 skill: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Just you will go to the exam center. So if you are taking it paper-based exam, so you will have to follow the instruction. In actual test, you will be given the following instruction. For example, you have to wait. Whenever you receive a paper, don't open it. Wait for the examiner. So he will give you instruction. Wait, and when they said, please open it, then you can open it. And the second thing is that write your name and candidate number in the space at the top of this page. When the page is given, you must write your name and candidate number, which will be given to you when you make a registration. They will issue you candidate number. Also, they will give you a center number. Okay, like if you are going to give in Qasim, Riyadh, Jeddah, anywhere. So also, then listen to the instructions for each part of the paper carefully. Yeah, it's important you listen to the instruction of the manager, whosoever they are managing there at the test, and try to answer all the questions because it matters. It is counted in your brains. While you are listening, write your answer on the question paper. So you will have a question paper. So for example, you are listening about a schedule, you are listening about to complete the table, if you are listening about like a monologue, dialogue, conversation of 4 people, 5 people. So you must write your answer at the same time on the paper. Don't think that you will write later, maybe, not maybe, but surely you will forget it later. Then you will have 10 minutes at the end of the test to copy, to transfer your answer from your question paper to answer sheet. You will have an answer sheet, so you will transfer it to the answer sheet. So let's move to the computer delivered test. How will you take computer delivered test? I think most of the students are taking computer delivered test these days. For example, the computer delivered test, you make the registration, you go to the exam center, your 4 skills of language will be tested in a computer lab. Okay, you go to the center, Real, the center, you will be. And how will these skills be tested? So you will be given a computer and the method of, maybe there is sound or not.
Welcome to our computer-delivered IELTS Tutorial 1.
It's about computer delivered test.
Welcome to our computer-delivered IELTS Tutorial 1. This tutorial will show you how to complete and prepare for computer-delivered IELTS. For each section, there's a clock at the top of the screen, which tells you how much time you have left. For the reading and writing tests, the clock will turn red and flash when you have 10 and 5 minutes left. The tests will automatically stop when the time finishes. The instructions for each part are in the box at the top of the screen. You can use the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to move from one question to the next. Click on the number to go to that question. You can also click on the forward arrow to go to the next question, or the back arrow to go to the previous question. When you have answered the question, a line will appear under that question in the navigation bar. You can click on Review if you want to look at the question again later. The question number will be shown as a circle. You can review and change your answers at any time until the end of the test. Click on the yellow arrow if you want to make the navigation bar smaller. You can use the scroll bar to see all the questions. In each of the tests, you can change the screen settings. To do this, click on the Settings tab at the top of the screen. You can change the size and color of the text. In each of the tests, there is a Help tab. If you click on the Help tab, this will give you information about the task you're currently doing. If you click on Test Help, you will see information about how the test works. If you wish, you can also highlight sections of the text. If you need to leave the test room for a few minutes, you can hide your screen by clicking on the Hide tab. When you return to the test room, click on the Resume Test button. That is the end of the introduction tutorial for computer-delivered IELTS. Check out the British Council IELTS.
Yes. So if you want to take the computer exam, this will be the way. Online test, same. If you want to do it from home or from office, from anywhere, you can do it from any part of the world. But I think now it is like make a registration. You must have a stable internet connection. Your 4 skills will be tested, but about the countries, it changes sometimes. The British Council. I was checking the list of countries, so some countries are not appearing in the list for online exam, but it gets changing. So you can check if your country is in the list for online. You can go for online exam from your home, from your computer, from your laptop, from your tablet. You can book online and take IELTS online. 4 skills of language will be tested. The 3, like reading, you will do online. Writing, you will compose. You will not write. And listening also you will do on computer. But for speaking, you will have a test on video links like Zoom or any platform. And for online exam, a specific software will be sent to you. You will install your computer, mobile phone, or anywhere. You will install it on your device, and during that time, you are not allowed to move here and there. You are not allowed to change the tab. You are not allowed to. You have to sit in front of the computer, and here is the video how it works. online test. If you want to take online test.
Welcome to the quick guide to the IELTS online listening, reading, and writing tests. In the listening, reading, and writing tests, there is a clock at the top of the screen which tells you how much time you have left. The instructions for each part are in the box at the top of the screen. You can use the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to move from one question to the next. You can also use the arrows to move forward and back. When you have answered a question, a line will appear above that question in the navigation bar. You can flag a question if you want to look at the question again later. To flag a question, click the flag next to the question. To return to a flagged question, click the question number in the navigation bar. To remove a flag, click the flag next to the question. You can review and change your answers at any time until the end of the test. You can use the scroll bar to see all the questions. You can change the screen settings. To change the text size or color settings, click on the Options icon in the top right corner of your screen to open the menu. From here, select Contrast if you want to change the color settings.
Okay.
Select
The rest of the things are same like we have done in computer delivered test. So next, listening score table, how it is counted. Listening time is normally 30 minutes for paper exam. In 10 minutes you need to transfer your answer from question paper to answer sheet if you are taking paper exam. But if the score table is like this, if you attempt 16 correctly, you will get 5 mains, 23 correctly, 6 mains, 30 correctly, 7 mains, 35 correctly, 8 mains for each question. You will be rewarded with 1 grade. And it depends what is your goal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it happens, I would like to give an example of a book. Maybe you have read it, Atomic Habits by James Clear. The main thesis statement is that everyone set the target. Everyone set a target or goal. What is your goal? Every day. Okay, for example, which grade do you want? A plus, B plus? A plus. Everyone A plus. Everyone wants set the target A plus. But who gets the A plus? The one who set the system. If you set the system, you get A plus. If you don't get the system, don't set the system. Setting system means you work on your goal every day. So if you work on your goal, you set the system, you achieve A plus. But if you just think I want A plus, just thinking, you don't convert your ideas to the practical shape, maybe you don't achieve your goal. So what is your goal? You can achieve your goal. Prepare yourself well. Okay, you have time this semester and second semester. Prepare yourself well, then go to the exam. Don't jump blindly. So this is advice. Okay. What kind of test or kind of listening is there during the test? The first listening is normally conversation of 2 people. They are describing something like a schedule, a table about like a train schedule, the bus, anything. Listening to is a monologue. One person is talking about his achievement or something. Listening to is normally conversation up to 4%. This is important, listening 3. Because sometimes we are being a second language learner, we cannot recognize the sound. Who is Maria, who is Felix, who is Dean, who is Muhammad, who is Far. So we must, in the beginning, when they give introduction, focus who is speaking. Keep in your mind the names. So conversation of 4 persons, so you should keep in mind the names of the person. Listening for is normally lecture of one person. Maybe it's about a discovery of something, an invention. Maybe, for example, he's talking about iPhone 16 or any scientific research. So one person is talking about something. And the test is 30 minutes in total, like online test, computer-based test, or paper-based test. In paper-based test, you have 10 extra minutes to transfer your answer. The other computer-based and online tests are recorded automatically. Okay, the audio recording gets complex gradually. Okay, focus on the first part, like listening 1, listening 2, because they are easier. You know, they are about common things. But later they are getting complexer. And then type of questions that we see every day during the listening. Yeah, maybe sentence completion. Okay, half of the sentence is given. You have to listen and complete. Summary completion. You will have given a summary. Okay, you have to fill in, listen and put the exact word. A form like application or a form, you have to complete it. Sometimes note taking. Multiple choice questions. Yeah, MCQ. Given short question, answer questions. Sometimes table completion, diagram learning, map plan completion, flowchart completion. And Ms. Farhan has given you the example of diagram, like you have to, sometimes they give direction. For example, diagram you enter in a hall map. So it says something on the right, something on the left, east, yeah, west, northwest, something like this. So you should read the instruction before attempting the exam. So read carefully and make your mind that what the map is in front of you, or table or something. Okay. So yes, so some of the tips that you can achieve your test. Yeah. You can pay more attention to earlier parts, like listening 1, listening 2. If you pay more attention, yeah, focus on the synonyms. I think other fellows have mentioned synonyms. For example, the word is near to. In the listening, you will listen close to. The word is reliable. In the listening, you maybe listen dependable. Yeah. So in the listening, maybe attitude. In the exam, maybe it is way of talking. So you must focus on synonyms, the similar words, and do not be panicked if you missed some answers. Okay. For example, you missed some answers in listening to some question. Don't be panicked. Okay. Prepare yourself. Be strong and move to next part and leave it. If you have missed it, again you will have maybe time. You can correct it or leave it. Don't be panicked that you missed the first part of this and that. No, don't worry. And you realize the given time well. Okay. Don't like, for example, listening 1. When they finish, they say the instructions are played. Go to part 2, part 3. So you must go to part 2 and part 3. Follow the instruction. Don't stay on the first part. Okay. Then we have answer sheet. Like if you have a paper exam, this is the example of answer sheet. You have candidate name, candidate number, and center number. Your candidate name, your name, candidate number, and center number will be given to you. Then you want to test your language. So we have a resource. If you have one, this is a British Council app. Its name is English Score app application. It's available on in Android and Apple. So you can, this is the preface, you can download this app. Yes, there are the tests are given for you, reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, everything will be given to you, and this is the preface of the results. This way you can see your results. So this app, it is free. You can check your language, whether you are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 level, whatsoever, like you will get A, advanced, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the application, you check your language on it. But when you install and use this app for language testing, you should stay in a calm place. You should be in front of camera no one should disturb you. If you move here and there, I try to cheat or open another tab, so it will dismiss you. Okay, you will not allow to test your language. Other important resources that you can use to prepare yourself for IELTS exam are this one, take IELTS britishcouncil.org. This is the QR code. If you wanna take picture or scan, you will go to this preface, preparing for IELTS, right? So you can prepare. It will allow you to all skills of language, knowledge of language. Also, it allows you to prepare yourself for computer-based exam, online exam, or any kind of exam. And then also another effective resource for IELTS is IELTSlist.com, and here it is the QR code. You can take picture or scan it. It also provides a lot of resources, practices, lot of knowledge, classes. These are free resources. You don't have to pay anything for these resources. And yes, this is the preface. IELTS, you will see this page. One important thing about this one. When you go to take IELTS British Council, they ask you to register yourself and set your band. You know what is your target, by the way? Band 6, 7, 8. Yeah? Yeah? Band in IELTS, what is your target? Band 6, 7, 8. Yeah, maybe I want 9, but my knowledge is 5. According to my knowledge, I deserve 5, but so when you register, so you should register like 5 band, 6 band, because if you register for 9 band, they will give you very tough material like vocabulary, grammar, reading, writing. If you set your target like 9 band, they will give you very tough material. But if you set your target like 5 band, 6 band, they will help you gradually. So idealize it, but on the basis of reality, what we are really. Okay, let's move to the effective resource. And if you have any questions about listening. No? Okay, so here are my contact number if you need any help anytime about and this is my LinkedIn profile. If you want any help anytime about IELTS, you say you have written a paragraph you want to send me, you can send me, I will check. I will help you in this regard as a volunteer teacher. Okay? Thank you so much.
And I'm telling you on the behalf of College and Education that your efforts don't go unheard and unseen. Thank you so much. And last but not least, special thanks to the participants from College of Medicine female and male section and these amazing volunteers for organizing this special event. Everything is well explained and well elaborated by my colleagues. I think there is not much left, but before I jump to and bounce to my presentation, I want to just summarize the test pattern and the skills of IELTS. There are 4 skills we know. 2 are receptive skills. The one is reading, the other one is listening, in which the information is given. You are receiving the information. And 2 skills, the one which I'm going to tell you, it's speaking, and the other one is writing. These are productive skills in which the information is produced. You have to produce the information. So without further ado, let me bounce to my presentation. So what is speaking test? IELTS speaking test. A bit different because it's face to face, and in this test, the examiner is evaluating the speaking skills of the test taker. This is the speaking test. Now, what is the criteria for this? Fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and punctuation, pronunciation. All these 4 parts are analyzed by the examiner, by the test taker, and you are going to get the bands according to these 4 parts. One thing, some of the students, they take it wrong fluency that the more I am speaking faster, the more I'm getting the marks. No, fluency means the way you talk, the pace of your talk, the pace of your talking should be the same. It shouldn't fluctuate too much. Yes, you can fluctuate, but you can't fluctuate too much. Vocabulary, the range of vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. I will discuss it later. Test format. So, the best thing before you appear in any test is to judge and to know about the basic of any test. So, in speaking test, there are 3 parts. Number 1 is introduction interview. It might take 4 to 5 minutes. The second part is individual long mini presentation. The examiner will be asking you some question in which you have to answer a bit detailed. So you have to answer in detailed pattern. And the third one is the ongoing part 2, but it is more elaborated talk, two-way discussion. The examiner may ask you some questions, so you have to be more elaborated. You have to elucidate in a more varied pattern. So part 1. Here, the examiner will introduce himself or herself by confirming your identity. The examiner will ask you generic question about your family, studies, work, generic topics. And he or she might check your ID. So these are some topics: home, hometown, family, job, studies, interest, other similar topics. So these are some general topics. Actually, the main purpose of the first part is to make you more comfortable. So these are some simple questions like your hometown, village. Remember, in first part, 5 tenses should be focused. All 3 indefinite tenses: present simple tense, past simple tense, future simple tense. Then the 4th one is present perfect. And the last, because there is 1 or 2 questions regarding it, is present continuous tense. If you see what kind of place it is, and the last one, if you say what kind of job do the people in your town do, what do you say it's a good place to live in accommodation, how long have you been living here? Okay, so these are some questions, and you have to focus on these 5 tenses, especially these 5 tenses. So it's a sample. These are some sample questions. Okay. So part 2. In part 2, there is a cue card with a topic. You have some time to write down the details, and then you have to speak for about 2 minutes. And then when you have ideating, then you have to take time for 1 or 2 minutes to speak on the subject. Okay? It's a cue card, and let me give you an example of the cue card. Is like, describe a teacher who has greatly influenced you in your education. So you should say where you met them, what subject they taught, what was special about them, and explain why this person influenced you so much. So you can take 1 minute, write down, jot down your ideas, you can write it down, and then when the examiner say, you can speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Part 3. This is the extended version of part 2. Okay, in part 2 there is a topic. In part 3 it is an extended version of the part 2, in which examiner will ask you and expect you to give more detailed answers. So there is an example like, what are the differences between shopping in street markets and big shopping malls? What are the advantages and disadvantages of shopping in a big shopping center? What make large shopping centers popular? Here, the purpose of the examiner is that, are you able to do extended talk? Can you elaborate more? That's the purpose. So this is the summary. Part 1, you have to answer about yourself and your family. Part 2, you speak about a given topic, introduced by the examiner. And part 3, the extended version of part 2. So I have jotted some tips because, as I told you, though it is a productive skill, but it is control one. You can control your ideas and you can float it in a very better way. It's up to you how you organize your speaking. Before I tell you this, before I jump to here, in linguistics there is a term lexicon. What is lexicon? It's a part of a brain. Why I'm telling you, I will let you know. In every part of the brain, you have seen and you have experienced this. Sometimes you forget the name of your friend, forget the name of your car, forget the name of the thing that you like the most. Sometimes it happens or not. Why? Because if they say the part of the brain there is a lexicon and it has some numbers of words, let's say 500, and in that specific time, that word isn't in that lexicon. So don't worry about that. If you are not getting a specific word, you can use a grammatical version. I will let you know how to use that grammatical version. Okay? I'm happy. You don't know the antonym of happy. You can say I'm not happy. Okay? I will discuss it later. So look here. Practice English daily. That's the key. Because for speaking, the more you practice, the more you are able to get good grades. Familiarize yourself with the test format. That's very essential. That's important, mandatory that you should know what kind of questions are expected in IELTS. Speak clearly and confidently. Speak clearly. Don't go for pronunciation. Many students, they go for pronunciation. And when they focus on pronunciation, it hurdles the fluency and their vocabulary. That's why they don't take good grades. Extend your answers. Don't say, what kind of sport do you like? I don't like sports. That's not the answer. You have to extend your answer, okay? Use a wide range of vocabulary, okay? One tip, avoid monotony, avoid redundancy, avoid repetition. Don't repeat the same adjective. You know, content words are very important. You know what are the content words? Noun, verb, adjectives, and adverb. Don't repeat them again and again, because we cannot change preposition. We cannot change conjunctions. These are the 4 main words in grammar, these content words. Don't repeat them. Practice pronunciation, that's the more important thing, and you can just look up to the dictionary. After every word there is a syllable, so you can just go where is the stress pattern, and we have been teaching this for past many years. Develop fluency by practicing time respond. Record yourself. Go to the recording section. Speak on a specific topic. Record it and see where you are lagging. Okay? Then avoid over preparation. Remember, it's just a test. You all are capable and you all have the aptitude. Don't lower yourself. Don't try to be, Vin Diesel, because it's his native language. I'm not Vin Diesel. I'm not, Barack Obama. He's one of the best orators in the world. It is his native language. I cannot speak Arabic as fluent as you can. Okay? We are non-native. Even the examiner knows that you are non-native, and he doesn't want you to be perfectionist. Speak what is best in you. Don't over-prepare yourself. Okay? Use connector and linking words. As I told you, it's a productive skill, and everything is well elaborated by Mr. Usher. That, in my opinion, for example, on the other hand, how whenever you are talking about similarity, use cohesive devices. When there is a contrast, use cohesive devices like this, and stay calm and maintain eye contact. Stay calm. Okay? Extend your speech. As I told you, let me give you an example. Do you play any sport? The answer is no, I don't like sports. The examiner is not going to give you more than band 5. Okay? You have to answer. There is an experience. Let me tell you, I was taking some speaking exam, and one of my students, he showed up and I asked him, how are you? He said, good. I said, well, what about your family? He said, good. So whenever I'm asking him the question, he's giving me one word sentence, one word answer. Good. Good, good. Okay? Don't say like this. Even if you don't know, there is a word. My student told me my Arabic is very bad, asra. You have to make it up. Even you don't like sports, just say I like football. I used to play a lot in my school time, and after that when I came to college there was a lot of stuff to do, so I limited myself. Say anything, pretend, okay, make the things up. Number one, give your time to think. If there is a question pops up and the question is not familiar to you, unfamiliar to you, so what can you say? You can just take time by saying that's a tricky question. I never thought about this before. That's an interesting question. Just give me some moment. Okay, you can say like that. Don't worry about it that this is an unexpected question, and I would say, no, I don't know the answer. Don't say like that, okay? So you can say like this, okay, what was your favorite book in the childhood? So you can say, what book did I like as a child? Let me see. Then you can take time. No problem at all, okay? You commit a mistake, everyone commits mistake, okay? Don't panic. No worries at all. If you have done a mistake, don't rectify it. Like I say, I doesn't do this. I know I did a mistake. Don't say, oh no, I don't do it. Don't repeat it. Mistakes happen, okay? And be coherent. You know, there is a semantic way of using the words in a very, effective way, and there's a logical way. Be coherent. Use these phrases, connectors, cohesive devices like however, nevertheless, all in all, moreover. Okay? Use this, it will add beauty to your conversation, and the examiner will judge that this test taker knows the very basics of the language. This is my favorite part, the don'ts in our speaking. You never ever try to do this. Never ever try to adopt these things. Number one, give yes no answer as I told you. Do you like sports? Yes. No. Don't say it. Okay, extend your answer. Go off the topic. So whenever someone asks you, tell me about the favorite sport, tell me about your hometown, and we are creating a story. Don't create a story. Stick to the topic. Okay? Give no answer. Again, if a question that is unexpected pops up and you say, oh, I have no idea, sorry, I don't understand the question, don't say like that. Okay? Take time, make the things up, and just speak. Speak very quietly. Some students, they speak quietly. You know, there is a nature of some of the students that their voice tone is low. Don't do this. Why? Practice a bit louder, because the examiner is recording. The device should pick up your voice, because after that recording, he or she is listening to it and try to rectify the grades. And if your voice is not audible, you're not going to get the grades, the expected grades. And be a perfectionist. Don't be a perfectionist. Even the examiner knows that you are non-native. He can check your ID. He can suddenly, get your identity that this guy is non-native. So don't try to be an Englishman. Okay? Be in your scope. Be in your personality, and speak the best out of it. And I think that's it for me. Again, I would like to thank all of you for coming. And again, special thanks to my colleagues and volunteers. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you're more than welcome.